of biz apps. So let me just speak of our own dynamics thing.
Right.
The approach at least we're taking is, I think the notion that business applications exist, that's probably where they'll all collapse, right, in the agent era. Because if you think about it, right, they are essentially CRUD databases with a bunch of business logic. The business logic is all going to these agents. And these agents are going to be multi-repo CRUD, right? So they're not going to discriminate between what the backend is. They're going to update multiple databases, and all the logic will be in the AI tier, so to speak. And once the AI tier becomes the place where all the logic is, then people will start replacing the backends, right? We have people, that's what, in fact, it's interesting. As we speak, I think we're seeing pretty high rates of wins on Dynamics backends and the agent use. And we are going to go pretty aggressively and try and collapse it all, right? Whether it's in customer service, whether it is in, by the way, the other fascinating thing that's increasing is just not CRM, but even our, what we call finance and operations. Because people want more AI native biz apps, right? That means the biz app, the logic tier can be orchestrated by AI and AI agents. So in other words, Copilot to agent to my business application should be very seamless. Now, in the same way, you could even say, hey, why do I need Excel? Like, interestingly enough, one of the most exciting things for me is Excel with Python is like GitHub with Copilot, right? That's essentially, so what we've done is when you have Excel, like this, by the way, will be fun for you guys, right? Which is you should just bring up Excel, bring up Copilot and start playing with it, because it's no longer like, oh, it is like having a data analyst. And so it's no longer just making sense of the numbers that you have. It will do the plan for you, right? It will literally, like how GitHub Copilot Workspace creates the plan and then it executes the plan. This is like a data analyst who is using Excel as a sort of row column visualization to do analysis scratchpad. So it's kind of tools you. So the Copilot is using Excel as a tool with all of its action space because it can generate, and it has Python interpreter. That is, in fact, a great way to reconceptualize Excel.
Those agents, at the time, you took sort of a very generic set of principles, very simple principles in the field of machine learning. And you would basically specialize a model on one task. And what we were doing at the time is have a curriculum of tasks that were more and more and more difficult, right? So when we last spoke, for instance, in video games, we were looking at StarCraft, which is one of the most complex modern strategy games out there. And of course, DeepMind is notorious for having started the trend with Atari, which is a fairly simple game of, left, right, hit the paddle and hit the ball and, off you go. So that sort of is what the algorithms themselves, we try to push for them to be very general, so we can keep climbing this ladder of difficulty, curriculum of games, and doing more and more complex things. And right now, what has happened is even the models we train are broadly applicable to many more things than the models we developed back then were, right? So think about the process of creating this digital brain hasn't changed that much, but what that brain was able to do was reasonably narrow, although very complex, like playing StarCraft or playing Go. Right now, these models can do quite a lot more broad applications, and of course, talking to us, chatbots, et cetera, et cetera.
Agentic Era is the era where advanced AI system autonomously takes actions, adapts in real time, and solves multi-step problems based on context and objectives. The future of generative AI. Generative AI continues to evolve, with advancements like real-time content generation for games and simulations, improved accessibility and democratization of AI tools, fusion with AR/VR for immersive experience. Generative AI is reshaping industries by enabling creative and innovative applications. While it holds great promise, it's essential to approach it responsibly, balancing its potential with ethical considerations.